Of course, Rally Finland is the favorite week of the year.
It's really something special. We spend a lot of time in the air. There is nothing to compare.
You cannot drive 90%, you have to go 100.
My favorite memory is when I was watching there with my friends and family on the stages the whole weekend. Yeah, that times were just really cool, and always seeing that driving past, it was nice.
There is many good memories.
Markus!
Last win 2007, when I had decided, in fact during the rally, that it will be my last one. That was a special one.
I have this passion for rallying. I live for it. I breathe it. Whenever I go abroad to some other rally and tell that I'm from Finland, people are always asking, oh, how is it in Finland? It's big, big legend.
Finland! Yeah! Rally Finland!
The fact that the Finnish people have for generations been a rally people, and we have many legends, makes this rally especially special.
And for another year, Rally Finland is done once again. The legend lives on, and the difficulty of what Rally Finland contains has shown true once again. The beautiful scenes of Jyväskylä, for us, one more year has gone by. What a weekend. What an absolutely incredible weekend. I'm not sure, I always talk about this movie script. Take a breath. Take a breath, Jenny. I always talk about this movie script that's being written, but Sebastian Ogier doesn't even need a movie script. He writes his own incredible legacy every single time. A second win here in Finland, and I think he's going to carry on to get that championship title fight going, at least.
For sure, the championship fight is on. I think somebody else has written his legacy this weekend for him, really. You look at the stats. Rovanperä won 11 stages this weekend. Sebastian Ogier won 1. You know, and that's not taking anything away from Sebastian Ogier. It's just the heartache that you feel for Rovanperä. This was his rally to win, and it just got taken away from him by an innocuous rock. He couldn't do anything about it, and Seb himself said at the end of the stage, I mean, he was quite despondent, you know. He's a great sportsman, but he was genuinely quite despondent. He didn't want to win like that, did he?
No,
and it's just it's a shame the way that it's not a shame. The shame's too emotive, but it's a victory that's been handed to him, and what it has done is opened up the championship a great deal, you know. So
it's made the game very, very fun right now. But I think exactly what Seb said. Seb's words were perfect. In Sardinia, his victory was pulled away from him in the last throws. These things happen in motorsport, and it is the cruelest of sports. But this is what happens time and time again. The last final throws on Sunday, we saw it for Thierry in Kenya a few years ago, for Seb in Sardinia, and now Calais here in Finland once again.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, motorsport it can often be very, very cruel mistress. It's as simple as that. And actually, at the end of the commentary, we reeled off all of these names when I said, you know, congratulations to and commiserations to, and then PK added also to Takamoto Katsuta and Esa-Pekka Lappi. Fact of the matter is, and this is quite exciting, any of those drivers could have won this rally, because when you look at individual points throughout the rally, they were all on the pace, with the exception of Gregoire Munster, who you wouldn't have expected to be. They were all on the pace. It's just that, you know, a series of unfortunate events happened to certain drivers, and it's one of those rallies where you've got to stay out of trouble. Sebastian Ogier, Thierry Neuville and Adrien Fourmeau stayed out of trouble.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's just have a quick look back at the power stage. Last run in 2011, it was a fantastic spectacle once again, as the Wolf Power Stage always is. So let's get those images in of the power stage as it was running through with Sebastian Ogier. Didn't have the most successful power stage, as I was talking to Kai just then. Taka was the one that took the stage win. It didn't matter, though. His eyes were then on the victory.
Yeah, but also he dropped the points. He wanted the championship points, and I've got to be honest, at this point of the stage, it was looking really good. He was joint level with, well, actually started out quicker than Taka, then joint level with him, and you know, he wanted the those 5 extra championship points. The power stage was very, very important. Unfortunately, it just dropped away in the last sector. Now, I didn't see anywhere where he made a mistake to drop 2.2 seconds. What I do think has happened, unless I missed something, but we couldn't see anything obvious. It just looked like the stage was certainly deteriorating, and there was one sweeping right-hander where he just got a little bit offline and maybe dropped half a second to a second, but up until that point, it was a clean drive from Sebastian Ogier. He was really doing a good job, and certainly he showed his intent from the off, which was, I want to go absolutely flat out. And it also tells us that he has got a championship in his mind, you know, because he wants those points. But I just think the stage deteriorated for him, and it's kind of classic this power stage. It's not like the traditional stages that we have seen in Finland out in the forest. It's not as hard a base, so that it really does rut up, and eventually you get through that window of performance, and I'm talking about the stage itself, and then it starts to work away from you, and I actually think that's what happened to Sebastian Ogier. But it was nonetheless another victory for Sebastian Ogier, and he gave us some great words at the end of the stage as well.
He did indeed.
Seb, first of all, congratulations on winning Rally Finland. It's been a while since the last one, and it's clear to see how gutted you are for your teammates today. It's been a tough one for the team, but still, it's a win for you here. Well done.
Yeah, it's hard to really smile right now. Of course, a win in Finland is always nice, but that's not the way we would like to have it. Very sorry for Kalle and Jonna. They were really having an amazing pace the whole weekend. Quite unlucky on this stone on the road this morning for them, so it's a big shame, but that's the way it is in rally for us. We lost the win in Sardinia with bad luck. Today we get one a bit lucky. That's motorsport.
You move into second place in the Drivers' Championship. Does that mean you're going to do the rest of the season?
I have to see, but it looks like I have no other option.
Well, it's a good option, right?
I don't know. It's not my priority anymore, but we'll see.
A cheeky question with an equally cheeky reply. It's not his priority, but I think he'll give it a go. That has been our story of the weekend, and it will continue to roll on over the next 4 events. All right, let's look back first off at what happened with Kalle Rovanperä. Jenny, this is the unbelievable turning moment of the weekend.
Yeah, we were just talking about ride height and how Kalle was only, you know, 1 and a bit stages away from taking his victory. And actually, to be honest, the size of the rock, I don't think running the car much higher would have made any difference. Wait for it. There it is in the line, just lifts the car up and fires him off the road. A complete passenger, nothing he could do. Now, that's the whole incident. That's the first time I've seen the whole incident. Prior to that, it looked like he'd come to a very, very sharp stop. The nice thing is there that it rolled for a while, and what that does is it scrubs off the speed before it comes to a complete halt. So that was good to see. That's the kind of, when you're having an accident, you want the car to roll rather than just stop instantly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But look, he's a complete passenger there, and that's a hard thing to watch because, like I said, he's utterly dominated this weekend, and it's a hard pill to swallow for him. He was clearly rattled, anybody would be after a big accident like that. But also for the whole nation of Finland, because they were all behind him, and you have to feel for everybody. You know, it was a big accident, but there was absolutely nothing he could have done about that, Kiri. It was just incredibly unfortunate.
Now, the roars of disappointment reverberated around Jyväskylä. You could actually hear at that moment just Finnish words being yelled out from hotel to places where the fans are. It was definitely a moment of shock, such disappointment. I think, importantly, we will just reiterate, both fine, both Kalle and Joni out the car, and I believe actually luckily got a ride out of there already.
Yeah, I mean, look, he'll want to get away from there as quickly as possible. But you mentioned Jyväskylä. You know, this whole place becomes a little bit of a festival town when the rally arrives here. It means so much to the people, the local people of Jyväskylä and the surrounding areas as well. And as you said, you could just hear the disappointment physically reverberating around the place.
Yeah, all right. Well, Julian Porter, ever the intrepid reporter, always there for the moments of importance, managed to get himself to Kalle Rovanperä to get that first reaction.
Kare, penultimate stage right near the end. Just what happened exactly?
Yeah, basically last drivable corner of the stage. Yeah, everything was under control. Then we go into the corner and there was a really big loose stone middle of the corner, which of course on those speeds you cannot avoid. So there was absolutely nothing I could do. We hit the stone and it throws our car off the line and into the trees.
Main thing is both you and Joni are okay, yeah?
Yeah, we're fine.
I know you've been so calm about it all weekend. I interviewed you before the rally about kind of what would it mean? You said you've got to earn it. This must hurt though, so close to the end of a Finland win.
Yeah, basically the last proper corner of the whole weekend. I don't know which one would hurt more, if you do a mistake yourself or you hit a stone like that, which is out of our hands. So definitely it's a big disappointment. And yeah, watching the video now, there is absolutely nothing I could have done differently. So rally is sometimes quite tough.
Yeah, rally really is tough. We see it time and time again. We said it as soon as we sat down. Fantastic interview and really honest interview. And Julian Porter asking exactly the right question there. This must really hurt. He's been wanting this. We saw him, you know, when the pressure really was on trying to get his first Rally Finland win, and it just keeps eluding him. But I think sometimes that's okay. He's achieved so much. There's so much more to achieve. Maybe this one's just not his.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be back. I'd like to see him back, and I'd like to see him win it. I'd like to see, after all of this stuff that's gone on this year, I'd like to see him stand on the top step of the podium at home. But you know, he's very cool, calm, collected customer, isn't he? And as you say, he's achieved so much in his career, and will go on to do so. He is one of these drivers that you could take him out of a rally car and put him into a circuit racing car, and he's going to be running at the front. In fact, we've seen that happen when he jumped into a Porsche in Imola a few weeks ago. He went out and cleaned up and won both races. Whatever he does, he will do well at. And this weekend, as far as I'm concerned, he did win the rally. It was stolen from him. There you go.
And I think, like you're saying, doing a bit of circuit racing actually basically is improving what is already an incredible driver. So it's really interesting to see how he'll evolve. Elfyn Evans, he's had some cruel moments throughout the years as well. Almost championship titles, winning moments, and they've been taken away from him. Same stage as Kalle this morning. Obviously, it was run as stage 17. Elfyn Evans, and it was a lot earlier on in the stage. Just took us by surprise once again.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching Elfyn off the start line here, and there's a sort of a 200. You're flat out into this fast left-hander, and you can just see the back of the car just got away from him. He corrected, but it pulled the front off the road, and it fired him into the trees and then back across the road the other way. And for me, right at that point there, and then, listen, you never say never in this championship, but that has now made it a significant uphill struggle for Elfyn Evans and in his championship campaign. Really gutted, and we're seeing him there straight away getting out of the car. That's within 30 seconds of being stopped and getting out and clearing the road. And that's what you have to do in rallying, to go back and clear it so that the stage could continue to run. That's what was going through Elfyn's mind. He's a super sharp character, and very selfless as well, it has to be said. But what we saw straight away was off the line. This was his intent, to go flat out and really attack this stage. It's just that moment of rotation there in the back of the car, and look, it was just the finest of, and it's just at that road there has just bounced it across the road, and he's collected those trees. That's what's done the damage, Kiri. And yeah, it really unfortunate, and I have to say as well, you have to feel for Elfyn, because it's been like that a few times this year, hasn't it? And then the drive shaft yesterday. Now, that was Elfyn's fault today. Drive shaft yesterday wasn't, and he probably wouldn't have had to have been going so hard today if he hadn't had that issue yesterday.
But it's still not over, as we've seen, as Kalle was referring to. He's saying the last proper corner, because of course they were going into the power stage. It's not over until it's over. So it's going to be, like you said, I think an uphill struggle is probably the exact right word. Continuing the theme along this title battle, we were coming into this weekend with a Thierry Ogier-Elfyn situation. Those were our top three focus. That has changed completely now. Sebastian Ogier's jumped in front of those two. Ogier-Tänak, it was earlier on, but a similar sort of scenario. It took us by surprise, and it was a big hit.
Yeah, I mean, again, these are the sorts of roads that would suit his driving style, and I think he would be able to make the way that the Hyundai was behaving this weekend. He actually probably would have been able to make that work for him. It would have suited the way that he was driving. But we can just see here, and this was early on Friday. Straight away, again, he's looking to make progress. He's looking to start building a lead. Very, very slippery conditions, inconsistent grip levels into this left-hander. There goes the back of the car. It pitches it into a roll, and then it stops hard against a tree. I've got to say, it's very rare you see a car going belly up into a hard stop like that. And you can see, look at the car there. Look how it hasn't. The bottom of the car hasn't fractured at all. The worst thing that you can experience as a driver is to get damage from underneath and push the seat up. And that stood up to the accident very, very well. So, you know, it just goes to show great testimony to how strong the cars are these days. But from a championship perspective, and the good thing is both Oit and Martin will be okay, but from a championship perspective straight away, that's also put Oit Tänak on the back foot.
Yeah, all right, let's have a look at those driver championships just to give you a bit of context as to what is happening as we move towards Greece. Now, we have about a month off, but for that month, Thierry Neuville will sit at 27 points clear of Sébastien Ogier. Oit Tänak, because of what's happened with Elfyn Evans, will still remain above Elfyn, so 37 points to the 32 points. Adrian Formeau is in 5th there, so that is where we are focusing our attention. 27 points off for Sébastien Ogier. It's doable. And then Oit Tänak and Elfyn Evans have got a lot of work to do if they want to make it doable. Danny Sordo rounds out the top 10 in terms of those points with 27 points. But now the 1, 2, 3 focus is Thierry Neuville, Sébastien Ogier and Oit Tänak. We obviously are remembering that at this point we are still with the knowledge that Sébastien Ogier is on a part season and might not compete in all the rounds. I think that might change, but that championship title race as we complete the season is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, I know what I would like Sébastien Ogier to do. I've heard little.
Do you want to go and leave a box of chocolates?
I heard little rumblings here and there on what he's going to do. So I think there's been some entries put in already, but let's wait and see. Ultimately, the decision lies with him. But you know, Toyota have been very, very good to him over the years, and now the pressure's on him to try and bring it back to Toyota, because obviously he's second in the championship. So look, I'd like to see Sébastien Ogier competing. Again, even at 27 points, it's a bit of an uphill struggle. The way the points are structured now and what you can do on Sunday, I think Thierry Neuville is in prime position, certainly.
Well, what does this mean for Thierry? It was a difficult weekend. He talked about how scared he was at times with the car. Straight away from the moment we saw him in shakedown, Thierry was not happy with that car. And it was almost at some points a bit of a write-off weekend for Thierry. Well, this is not going to be Thierry's weekend. It's been made very clear Thierry's not happy. When we're seeing Calais and Elfyn and Oit at the time all having much better stage times, it falls into the hands of Thierry quite nicely after a very difficult weekend.
Yeah, there's no question the Toyota was the quicker car this weekend. The Toyota was the faster car. It was more dialed in. You know, Thierry was the one thing that he was struggling with was oversteer, and we were struggling with oversteer. As soon as he turned the car in, instantly the front would bite, give him loads of good front end grip, but would shock the rear, and he was just struggling all weekend with oversteer. Couldn't dial that out at all, and that's what he was referring to. And I think that's actually inherently built into the car. Now, that's a bad thing on really fast flowing rallies, particularly when it's wet and slippy, but it's a good thing when you get to tight, twisty technical events. So for me, you know, Thierry was always on the back foot from a setup perspective, but from a championship perspective, he's finished the rally. That's what you've got to do.
Yep.
Elfyn, Calais, Oit Tänak, they haven't finished. Thierry has done, and he's found himself picking up some solid points.
Yeah, what a way to move into Greece. All right, well, Greg Munster had his moment, and the rebuild was on. The possibilities of whether it was even going to be able to be done yesterday afternoon. Everybody stood around and thought, is this possible? Let's have a look at how it happened, how it unfolded anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it was a considerably big off for Gregoire. Here we go again in tricky conditions early on Saturday, turning into this left-hander, just a little bit offline, carrying a bit too much speed. Just turned in a fraction of a second late offline, and the results are fairly dramatic, aren't they? A big roll for Gregoire Munster, and You can just see he's just offline when he's turned in, so he's just been caught out ever so slightly, and it's pitched the car straight away into a roll and basically destroyed every single panel on it. The intercooler was pulled clean off the car, the cooling package, every panel on that car was damaged. Fortunately, though, the safety cell was completely intact, and when you look at that point, that's when you go, I wonder, can we rebuild this?
Well, let's have a look. Did they rebuild it? You know they did. How did they do it?
I think in general we thought there would be a bit more grip as it rained a bit less than yesterday, but some corners were a bit tricky, more slippery than expected, that one especially, and I just got caught up on the braking, and I did not manage to slow the car down enough and get the front to bite and turn in, so we just went wide. When we hit the bank, we flipped the car, and so we landed badly, and then there was nothing to do anymore. We both feel okay. We feel really sorry for the team and the mechanics because now they have such a big work ahead, and that was not necessary. But yeah, it happens. It's part of the sport. So hopefully we learn from it and we can come back stronger.
We've got a 4-hour window to try and fix the car. Probably the biggest repair we've ever tried on one of these cars during a rally. We're now just over 1 hour into the repair. There's a regulation that allows us to stop once at any time we want. So we've already done that. We basically started our 4-hour window. We worked for 30 minutes to take all the damaged parts off and then paused, had a look at the car and came up with a bit of a plan. So we basically got the remaining time now to try and put it back together. It's going to be very tight. We can't stop again now. We've got to work all the way through. At this moment in time, not sure how we'll get on. The damage at the front of the car is actually considerably easier to fix than the damage at the rear. That's where the big work is, because all of the carbon panels rely on each other to give the stability and the strength. And this is the type of work we'd normally do in our shell shop, not in a tent in a service park. So it's a big job, but we've got the best guys and girls on it, and hopefully we're going to get it back together and get Greg out again tomorrow.
My favourite to that is Rich coming out with his phone, taking a picture. Yeah, we did it.
It was a hell of a rebuild. That's what you've got to love about rallying, isn't it? That thing was absolutely rotten when it came off the truck and pushed into service. They've gone back out 4 hours later as a brand new car. Mega stuff.
Yeah, indeed. All right, well, we got a chance to catch up with P1 Fuels once again. So let's listen in to that interview. Yeah, well, joining me now is Martin Papilhe. He is the CEO and founder of P1 Fuels, and Matthias Henkeler, who is the founder of Secto. So some very big bosses here, but the reason we've got so much synergy between the two of you is all about sustainability, isn't it, Martin?
Absolutely it is. So P1 Fuels, as you guys probably know, is a company that makes 100% fossil-free gasoline that works in any car without modification and is the official fuel supplier of this championship. But what's super cool is that Matthias here, the founder of Secto Automotive, runs our fuel in his passenger cars on the roads of Finland.
And so obviously we've trialed them with the WRC, but you're one of the few people that has actually managed to get these onto the road.
Yeah, exactly. And just to clarify, we don't use them in our customer cars yet. We tried to actually get it to have it also on the our customers' cars, yeah. But now I use it in my personal car. So I have like 500 liters of P1 fuel in my garage and a hand pump, but it's better than nothing, you know.
Your garage or your Finnish sauna?
Well, actually, we could get you pumping his fuel. That will be the next step on the ladder. Okay, well, obviously, Rally Finland is an incredible spectacle. You've both been here to experience it many times. What have you made of this weekend so far? Just run Rovanperä, an incredible stage.
Yeah, it's an amazing rally. I mean, I love coming here every year and enjoying it. Haven't seen any special stages so far, unfortunately.
And how proud are you that Rovanperä is back on the calendar?
It was one of the first points. We became title sponsor in 2021, and it was one of the first points. And actually, I hadn't been here for a couple of years before that, so I was kind of like, where's Rovanperä? And there was, was it Hassi or Kakarista? I can't remember the names. And I was like, this is, you know, the Nordschleife. we have the Nordschleife, but we're not driving it as the Nordschleife. So it was one of my objectives that to lobby it to have Onipoja back. So I'm really happy. That was I was kind of glancing at the TV just a while ago. So super happy.
Amazing spectacle. You've done very well with that. All right. Well, we had a sustainable conference yesterday, a forum, and you both took part in that. This is obviously an important mission for you both moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. What's really important for us is to show that the innovation and technology that we're developing at the WRC is applicable in the 1.3 billion cars on our roads today that rely on fossil gasoline. Now, unless we replace that fossil gasoline with P1 or any other sustainable fuel, we're never going to reach our climate targets.
And Matthias, this is obviously a learning curve, but this is the right way to start.
Yeah, and I think it's just you have to go from somewhere, and just, you know, as Martin has been telling a lot, that you have to be agnostic towards what technology you're using. So the fossil energy is the enemy. We should use whatever that doesn't, you know, derive from mineral-based oil.
And things like the forum that you were part of yesterday, that's important just in terms of education.
Absolutely. It's very important in education and bringing the community together to understand that the solutions are already available. The technology is here. We've proven it works. This is the third year of the WRC Championship that's running. All of these cars are running on the fuel. So now it needs to be a combined mission to bring them to the mass market.
Okay, and it is a bit of a combined mission as well with Finland to get Kalle Rovanperä to get his first victory on home. So it looks like it's a possibility without jinxing it. It's quite an exciting prospect.
Yeah, I think nobody dares to say it, you know, out loud because, you know, we all remember what happened to Juha Kankkunen.
All right, well, guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the rally. We really do appreciate talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic project with P1 Fuels there. All right, let's get back to business. WRC2, what a weekend for Oliver Solberg. What a weekend it was in Latvia, and he's just come out even stronger here.
Yeah, fantastic drive from Oliver. Very mature is how I would describe it. You know, I was chatting to him, as I was saying in commentary earlier on. You know, I was chatting to him yesterday, and he says, Chenny, I'm really not on the limit at all. I'm at 90-95% all the time, but we're never overstressing the car. I'm never overstressing myself. We're playing this safe. We're thinking of the long game. That's exactly what he's done, and he deserved to win this rally this weekend. He kept himself out of trouble, and for me, he now is firm title favourite in the WRC2.
Very exciting indeed, and also a little bit of a run out for Jari-Matti Latvala. Always good to see him on a podium.
Mega. Brilliant to have Jari-Matti back in the seat of a car and enjoying himself, getting to the end of the stages with a big smile on his face and giving us some great end of stage interviews as well. It's brilliant to have Jari-Matti back behind the wheel.
Yeah, of course, not forgetting the Forum 8 award as well that was given for the WRC. But let's have a look at the overall classifications. So Oliver Solberg won, Jari-Matti Latvala in second, and Lauri Juna in third. Mikko Heckler in fourth, Nikolai Greisen in fifth, Linnemar, and then Verves with a bit of a Finland moment that will go down in history as well with the bonnet up. Let's have a look at the drivers' points. 111 goes for Oliver Solberg, Sami Pajari 83, Johan Russell now with 71 points. Okay. Forum 8 award went to Oliver Solberg for the most stage wins as well. So congratulations, Oliver, for that. Picking up that again for the second time in a row. A nice little Brucey bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's done a great job this weekend, and as I said, to win the most stages, but under the conditions that he was in. You know, he wasn't overstressing anything. He wasn't trying too hard. Is just goes to show that the natural pace in Oliver Solberg and the natural pace in his car as well. So for me, if he can maintain that level of maturity throughout the rest of the year, or at least his point scoring rounds, he's in prime position to win the championship, as well as the fact, of course, that Sami Pajari wasn't competing in WRC2 this weekend. So,
but got his first stage win in a WRC
of course,
car.
Yeah, of course. But it just makes life a little bit easier for Oliver.
Okay, all right, well, we head to Greece next in just a few weeks' time, which is going to be another incredible challenge in very different conditions, temperature-wise.
Yeah, really hot, really rough, dusty, the polar opposite gravel rally to what we have here in Finland. A very special place to go, and I'm sure that Hyundai will be quicker there than they were here. They won't have those oversteer issues that they had, and the Toyota's so strong, and that's what you need in Greece, a strong strong car. It's going to be a great rally.
Yeah, indeed. Well, as always, it's been an absolute privilege to be here to bring you all of the coverage of an absolutely legendary rally. Rally Finland now done and dusted. We move to Greece next time out. From myself, Chenny, and the rest of the team, thank you for joining us along this journey here in Finland. And it is goodbye for now.